here are my preview thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I recently got to play roughly an hour or so of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's early sections, one covering the period before the first game's events, where Cloud and Sephiroth worked together as allies, and another taking place soon after the main group's swift exit from Midgar. In both instances, I won't lie, it was refreshing just to be out of that blue-hued cyberpunk city at last. Final Fantasy VII Remake was a beautiful game, but it suffered from a few sections plagued by samey underground tunnels and industrial architecture. From both the sections I played, no such problems seem to be present in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Take the first section, for instance, where I got to control Cloud, and for the first time ever, Sephiroth. The chapter focused on the two, alongside Tifa, exploring an underground mine in search of the source of Mako. The environment in Mount Nibel was natural, dark and moody, lit only by the alluring green glow of the structures emitting the precious power resource. This tone perfectly suited the mystery that is Sephiroth in the moment too, who handles pretty much like you'd expect, as a nimbler and more elegant swordsman compared to Cloud's classic heavy hitter approach. The battle system in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth hasn't drastically changed from Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's still the same expert blend of both real-time action and then pausing the action in order to distribute commands to other party members, engage limit breaks, or switch up fighting styles. Unlike Cloud's ability to switch from Punisher to Operator stance, however, Sephiroth builds what's known as Aura to unleash a selection of maneuvers ranging from a simple pierce to either Infernal Gate, Sword Dance, and others depending on his positioning. These work alongside a further range of abilities that can be accessed when you pause the action before selecting a specific target. It's familiar, but it still works. The mission at Mount Nibel culminated in a battle against a huge wall-crawling beastie known as the Materia Guardian within a cave, where I was forced to switch from Cloud to Sephiroth and back again whenever one of the two got grabbed mid-battle. The epic confrontation was also a chance to test out the pair's synergy ability, Dual Blade Dance, which really solidified the duo's potential to work together. All throughout the Materia Guardian boss fight, there were some cinematic moments where Square Enix makes clear just how much Cloud respects Sephiroth, despite the latter always demanding more of him. This small glimpse into Cloud and Sephiroth's path's relationship will surely only heighten the impact that occurs when the two ultimately come to blows later on in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as they once did before. Obviously, the iconic villain's role was purposely limited in the first game outside of the final battle, yet from this little section where I actually got to control the white-haired arch nemesis, there's plenty of potential for both new and old fans to learn exactly what makes him tick. The second section of my demo thrusted me into the open wilds of Junon, one of the many new explorable regions Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to add. It was here where I was able to take in the hint of this sequel's less linear structure at my own pace, first visiting a local chocobo farm before eventually getting to ride on one to get around quicker, and then picking up scents that could be followed in order to dig up useful items. In between exploring, I found myself engaging in multiple combat challenges sprinkled throughout the area, tasking me to defeat wild enemies in order to earn XP and rewards that would be enhanced if I completed them within certain parameters. Most of these boiled down to simply defeat all enemies within the time limit, stagger an enemy, pressure an enemy, and so on, but options like this work to make the environment feel living in a way that Final Fantasy VII Remake's linear paths never did. Even from just my brief time with the preview demo, it's easy to see how one could get lost scrubbing a region to find everything to see and do. Obviously, with the group having grown significantly at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, there will be times, such as this section in Junon, where there are more than 3 members in your party. Rebirth never overwhelmed me by asking me to control Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, and Red 13 all at once, however, instead giving me multiple configurations of groups to switch between. You still only control 3 members at any one time in battle, but you can better prepare by choosing a team setup designed for, say, ranged or magic play. I was mainly interested in seeing how Red 13 played in the party, seeing as, much as is the case with Sephiroth, he makes his playable debut in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. A final fight in the Junon section against a giant fish called Terror of the Deep proved the perfect opportunity, even if his moves like Siphon Fang and Wild Charge proved a bit useless against a boss who was prone to unleashing water blasts from up on high and creating whirlpools from underneath the wooden dock below. I'm still curious to learn more about how Red 13 can be used to enhance a team though, but thank heavens for Barret's ranged attacks because they were there to save me during this battle when I needed them. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, by its very nature, doesn't look set to introduce a lot of new combat systems. That said, its heroes finally breaking out of Midgar after spending 20 20 to 30 hours there already feels instantly refreshing, and is primed to give this next piece of Cloud's story an air of excitement about it. Square Enix already proved with Final Fantasy VII Remake that not everything is quite what it seems with the story that players thought they knew, and I'd expect much the same from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Regardless, this more open approach to exploration and story is much appreciated, even if it remains to be seen whether this can sustain across an entire game. So there you have it, guys, in terms of my full impressions of the hour or so I got to play of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I said, not too much new because not a lot was actually broken the last time round. It still looked beautiful, the battle system was great, but more so now obviously we're expanding the party to, you know, Red 13, potentially even Yuffie in the main game, and of course Sephiroth in what I hope is one of many flashback sequences that tells you a little bit more about the relationship between him and Cloud. Not too much longer to wait, February 29th, 2024, it'll be here when you know it, but let me know what you think about what I got to play at the recent hands-on demo. Do you plan on picking it up? Be sure to lend me your thoughts in the comment section below. Until then, thank you so much as ever, guys, for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Mirror Gaming YouTube channel and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.